professionals all over the globe to render assistance wherever they see it's needed. Even here in St. Kitts and Nevis, Cuba has been good to us many times. Many of our own citizens have gone to Cuba for medical treatment. And Cuba has sent professionals here to help us out, even at this time with COVID. But all of the good that Cuba is known for, none of that really matters when you begin to mix in the geopolitics. No matter the reliability, the efficacy, the track record, the credibility of Cuba and the products that they make, medical or otherwise, some people will not be allowed to take advantage or use it or benefit from it, all because of their particular government and the relations with Cuba. Even if it's the best medicine, best vaccine, even if it was the only vaccine, some people in some countries would never get to experience it because of the politics, the geopolitics involved. And one such country, there's no secret of the U.S.-Cuba relationship, which has been plagued with distrust and antagonism since 1959, which is the year Fidel Castro overthrew the U.S.-backed regime in Havana, led by Batista, and established a socialist state closely allied with the Soviet Union. The United States did at some point recognize the Castro government initially, but began imposing economic penalties as the new regime increased its trade with the Soviet Union. They nationalized American-owned properties, hiked taxes on U.S. imports. And so Washington instituted a ban on nearly all U.S. exports to Cuba, which at the time John F. Kennedy expanded into a full economic embargo that included stringent travel restrictions. The United States then severed diplomatic ties with Cuba and began pursuing covert operations to oust Castro. In 1961, the Bay of Pigs, remember that? Which was really a botched CIA attempt to topple Castro. That in itself fueled Cuban mistrust and Cuban nationalism. And Cuba allowed the Soviet Union to install nuclear missiles on the island secretively. The U.S. surveillance then uncovered that in '62, and that set off like a 13-day shutdown between Kennedy and Soviet leader Khrushchev that threatened to escalate into nuclear war. In the end, Khrushchev agreed to withdraw Soviet missiles in exchange for a pledge from Kennedy not to invade Cuba and to remove those missiles. So, just thought I'll just kind of provide a backdrop as to some of the issues that have led to this antagonism and distrust, regardless to what Cuba has to offer. And so, there you have it. This morning, though, it is Tuesday, and we will be having continuing our series of discussion on Tuesdays with regards to young people, what's happening in our country. Where we talked about last Tuesday, the juvenile justice system. Tuesday before that, we were talking about a sector of the youth department. I was looking at activities designed for young people. Today we will continue that discussion, but what we will do is we will take a break, and when we come back, we will be joined by a guest in studio again to have our discussion, our Tuesday discussion on youth activities. So let's take that break and come back on the other side.
The pandemic is a wake-up call. Far too many Caribbean people are overweight, obese, or living with NCDs and are at higher risk of becoming very ill from COVID-19. In a time when things feel out of our control, we need the power of choice. Caribbean leaders can make a real difference by introducing octagonal warning labels on the front of packaged products to help us identify which products are high in salt, fats, and sugars. Now more than ever, we need better labels, better choices, better health. This message is brought to you by the Pan American Health Organization, the Healthy Caribbean Coalition, the OECS Commission, and UNICEF. For more information, find us on Healthy Caribbean Coalition social media platforms.
Watch the creeper. Look out! Look out! This is it! Something new, something fresh, something exciting! Jump on show on Said I Said Radio with the man Chico. Yo! Every Monday to Thursday, Chico will be in the house with the 3 to 6 minutes. So tell your neighbors, tell your friends about this exciting show on Said I Said Radio, the Jump Off Show, every Monday to Thursday, 3 to 6. Don't miss it. While the others give you some, we give you more. Right here on Said I Said Radio. Watch the creep.
Every Saturday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Said I Said Radio goes into overdrive with the Magic Fingers Ronnie Rascal Mega Mix Show. You heard? Up your dial to 96.1 FM. It's the show that brings the vibes to your Saturday afternoon lime, bar hopping, party hangouts, or just driving around. You don't want to miss the Saturday Mega Mix Show. You don't want to miss the Saturday Mega Mix Show. It's old school and new school remixes by yours truly, Magic Fingers, Ronnie Rascal, every Saturday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. ZIZ Radio.
In the house.
Yeah. I know we can make it. It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gon' be safe. Everybody gon' be safe. One kind, one people. We are roll up to roll up, yeah. Cause no man's alone. Do what's right, alright. Cause I love you, brother, my sister. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah. It's better for us, yeah. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah. It's better for us than your mommy to daddy roll out.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
As part of its robust national vaccination education campaign, the Ministry of Health invites the general public to a number of important COVID-19 vaccination information sessions and clinics at the following locations. Please note, each session will begin at 6:30 in the evening. Edgar Gilbert Sporting Complex in Molyneux, Monday 12th April. Newton Ground Primary School, Tuesday 13th April. Wednesday 14th April, St. Peter's Community Center. Thursday 15th April, Dieppe Bay Primary School. Monday 19th April, Irish Town Community Center. This is a public service announcement from the Ministry of Health.
welcome back to Frank and Candid. I apologize for that lengthy break there, but we're ready to go. All right, as I promised before the break, we will continue our discussion, our series, dealing with youth matters on Tuesdays here. And some time ago, we dealt with the Youth Volunteer Corps. The Tuesday last, we looked at the juvenile justice system. And today, we're going to discuss the CARICOM Youth Ambassador Corps. All right. And so, with that in mind, we will go to our guests. We'll have to go to our guests in studio, and let her say good morning.
Hi, good morning. My name is Sharon Canania. Thank you for having me this morning once again.
Okay. All right. The Youth Ambassador, or the CARICOM Youth Ambassadors. What is that?
Okay, so basically we're going to focus this morning on the Youth Ambassador Corps, which is a stem from the CARICOM Youth Ambassadors. And they started in 2003. It's a number of different things to work with. So as I said, they are a branch of the CARICOM Youth Ambassadors, and along with the Youth Department in St. Kitts and the Youth Department in Nevis, they have embarked on a project which they have called the Youth Capacity Development Project. This is going to be solely targeting youth-led organizations and youth-serving organizations to do a number of things.
Okay. Now, the fact that we felt that there was a need for a youth ambassadors or CARICOM youth ambassadors, what was it driving that kind of reasoning? Why do you think? Because I believe, are they all connected? I mean, I know they are in other parts of the region. St. Lucia, for example, has. Is there some connection between all these groups in the different islands?
Well, the CARICOM Youth Ambassadors, I think, between the entire CARICOM, you must understand, there are different persons from St. Kitts. We have a male and female, and alternate, of course. They do travel, they do different projects aligned with what CARICOM has set in place for them to do. So that on a whole, yes, they do travel, they do meet the other ambassadors and so on. Have workshops elsewhere, do things on the ground in St. Kitts also, which would benefit community and the people within the community also.
How does one become a member of the CARICOM Youth Ambassador?
Well, for the CARICOM, it's a yearly thing they serve. So when their time is coming, drawing nigh, I should say, there is a call sent out. So there are interviews, fill out the application forms, send the credentials that's needed. You have to meet a certain criteria, of course. Then there are interviews, and it's chosen from the best lots out of those. Bear in mind that you can't be a shy person, because you have to be speaking in public to the public and so on and so forth, and traveling. So
the CARICOM Youth Ambassadors Corps, are they coming from, for example, we talked about the Youth Volunteer Corps here some time ago. Is the membership, or is it coming from out of that?
So the membership for the Youth Ambassador Corps, yes, definitely. It's a stem from the CARICOM. So right now the focus is with the youth ambassadors, because they are trying to push something in our communities, because we have a lot of youth groups. We have persons registered with us as youth groups, but what we have found that they lack capacity building. They lack training in a lot of different areas. Some of them do not know how to go about writing a good project proposal, and they are often, I would say, opportunities that would land in the youth department that we could offer to them or through to them to let them know that you can apply for this. Because if you want to do something within your community, you're trying to uplift your community, you're trying to build it, there are always opportunities that would arise. But if you don't know how to go about and get into those opportunities, it makes no sense. So you're going to be a tad bit behind in a lot of areas. So I think in what the youth ambassadors have in mind is basically to help strengthen, to help build, and to help train.
Okay. I have scenario. I have a project in mind. I first of all, what is the age group we're talking about here?
The age group for
the ambassadors is there?
Well, the youth ambassador corps that they're targeting persons 15 to 35 within youth groups, because as I said, it can be youth led and it can be youth serving. Difference for youth led organization, there has to be someone within the age group. Our youth policy, as I stated the last time I was here, it's 12 to 29. So for a youth-led organization, there has to be a youth within the leadership position. So it has to be whether the person might be an assistant president, the vice president, I'm sorry, the vice president or the treasurer or the secretary or PRO. But in order for that, we have to have youths leading in that capacity. And for a youth-serving organization, they can go from 15 to 35, and then they don't have to have a youth within that in the leadership position coming down. So those are youth serving. So for this project especially, we're going from 15 to 35 in terms of who they are targeting.
Okay, back to my scenario. I am a youth. I am somewhere in that age group.
You don't look like they're over 12. Look at that.
So 12 is good, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have an idea. I have a project in mind. I thought about this. What do I do to get that project off the ground? How do you come in? What would I have to do?
First and foremost, do you have a group? Do you have a youth group?
Yeah, I'm part of a youth group.
You're part of a youth group.
We have this idea kicking about that we want this project that we want to do. What would be our next step or steps?
Well, I would say your first step would be to register with the youth department.
Okay,
registration, because that's where you would get opportunities handed to you, where at first you register first. So your registration would be the first thing. You have to go through a series of training that we do offer. Training that we do offer. You can always come to us with your project or your project proposal. What we try to do is not to take the lead in that. So you should already have what you're going to do, the know-how, all of your W's, where, when, what, how you're going to get this done. So that has to be laid out already, because we don't want to take the lead in what you have already put in place. So that's the second step.
So do I have to show that I have expertise, or somebody in the group have expertise in that particular area or field?
No, but you definitely have to know what you're doing. What you're doing. So you have a team, you have the person who is responsible, so one person can't do all of this. So you have to know this person is going to take lead on this person is going to take lead on that. So you have everything all organized and set. Should you require assistance in any way, and we're the youth department, we don't do in cash, we would go do in kind. So we offer services, we offer our things that we would have on hand that you can sign up at a lower fee than if you go to, like, say, TDC. If you wanted tables or chairs, they might give you another price. Because you're registered with us, then you get a lower price. It might probably be like 50 cents to $1. You can rent a chair for or something like that. But we have different things that we can offer to you, and that's only because you have registered with us. You have been participating in the capacity building trainings and so on. So there are opportunities.
Now, are there any restrictions on the types of projects that you would provide assistance for, or I could bring to you?
Definitely, we do not do a holdback on what project you want. what we say, as long as it's something, it's going to benefit your community, it's going to benefit the country, it's going to benefit what you are targeting. For instance, you said, I want to beautify the whole of, what's this area? Springfield. I want to beautify Springfield. Okay, how are you going to go? How are you going to go about doing that? So we're not saying that it's unreachable, and we're not saying that you can't do that. What we are saying is that you have to know how. If you're going to want to take up a project that you're going to beautify this whole area, you have to know that, well, if it's something that is doable.
Right.
Because we're not going to dampen your fire and say, no, you can't do that.
Okay.
Because anything is possible. That is something that we say, anything is possible. But you just have to have that know-how.
Okay.
So.
All right. So once that has been established, then you would then, in effect, work with the group. You're not taking the lead, but you're there for like support and
right. So as I said, we had, I said the last time I was here, we have zonal officers. So that's where they're coming.
Okay.
In terms of social auditing, we make sure that the group is up to a certain standard. We make sure they have their membership. We make sure they have things in place such as first aid. They know the drill for the numbers for fire department, ambulance, all of those stuff. All of those come into the training. But we see that some things are still behind because, as I said before, they may lack the capability to do project proposals.
Right.
So we know that some of the things have to come into play. And excuse me. So this is basically what the Youth Ambassador Corps is targeting right about now. This project, it is scheduled to begin rollout on the 1st of May 2021 this year. It is due to end by August 22nd, 2022. And it should be executed in about 3 phases, which will, as the first one I mentioned, social audit, governance and accountability strengthen the group, and sustainable community intervention. At the end of it all, they should be able to complete a project. So they will be allowed to come up with a project that they can execute.
Okay.
At the end of that all, then they will be certified and by the Corps, the department, and one of our partners, and the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, of course.
Okay.
Mr. Libert is on.
We also have as our guest the director, Mr. Pierre Libert. He's joining us by telephone, so we want to bring him in to this conversation. Good morning, Mr. Libert.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Okay, great. We want to bring you into this conversation here, and the discussion on the CARICOM Youth Ambassadors.
Yeah, it almost sounds like you don't need me.
Okay. All right. I wouldn't say that, but
I would not say that at all.
I understand. We always need you.
Oh.
Anyway.
Very well. Very good.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. The ambassadors. It is. I notice we're talking about CARICOM ambassadors, as opposed to what we talked about before. St. Kitts and Nevis Youth Volunteer Corps.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me some of the things that a CARICOM Youth Ambassador, some of the benefits. Why would I want to be a CARICOM Youth Ambassador? Why would I want to be part of that as a young person?
Well, there would be a number of reasons, but primarily to ensure that young people have a voice in the decision-making process, and to offer yourself up as the conduit to that voice, to understand and articulate perspectives, aspirations, considerations, fears, overall views of young people in the national decision-making process, and ensure that it's considered here as well as the regional decision-making process. So that's why we have ambassadors from among young adults in the respective countries to represent both young adults at the national, regional, and often at the international level.
Yeah, you got to. Can you speak up a little bit for us? We kind of.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
So basically, it is to articulate the views, perspectives, dreams, aspirations, and overall views of the young people in your country, and to be their voice and to ensure that their perspective is heard at the national level and regional level and often at the international level.
Yeah, is there I see where you're going here, but is there some sort of input from these youth ambassadors when it comes to legislation that government may want to, or you may want enacted? Is it coming from this grouping, and do they have a voice to influence legislation?
Yeah, ultimately, yes, that is the idea, and it came from the actual heads of government, CARICOM heads of government, some years ago, where they agreed to establish the regional CARICOM Youth Ambassadors program to do exactly that, to have young people and youth views, in fact, mainstreaming youth concerns and ideas into national and regional decision-making processes. So ideally, that is one of the major roles and purposes, and educating their peers about the different CARICOM concerns, CCJ, PSME, issues of health, environment, and so forth. So they act as ambassador both ways.
Okay. I see.
And they were also integral, in the formulation and informing the federal policy. Okay.
I noticed that from looking at CARICOM publication, that there was actually the CARICOM Youth Ambassador Program launched back in 1993 in St. Lucia. And I'm wondering if you know why it took to 2003 or something in St. Kitts? Why what happened there between?
I don't think that all of the countries had ambassadors at that point.
Okay.
It was in the embryonic stage. They were just formulating. It was a concept that they were testing out.
Okay.
So it had to evolve. So there were some gaps, some downtime between 93 and 2002, actually, when they took another shot at it and ensured that all member states, including the DR, was involved in that aspect in the first meeting in Suriname. I actually was there and was the first youth ambassador.
Okay. What from where you sit, what does the future look like for the CARICOM Youth Ambassadors?
Well, promising. I mean, it's an important program nationally and regionally, and it's constantly being assessed and looking at ways in which it could be improved, and new things be put in place to support the work of the ambassadors, both nationally and regionally. In fact, we that CARICOM has appointed some of the regional directors to form a technical working group to do a review of the program. So we would be undertaking that over the next few months.
Okay, stay with us, but let me bring back in Ms. Candid here. Ms. Candid, what would you say to the public-private sector? What would be your pitch to them in support of this grouping?
I would say to the private and the public sector is that they should try more to push their support towards them, because they're really trying. I know it can be hard at times for them, for the things that they want to do, because they do not have the support within the community or the country on a whole in terms of getting, whether it's funding or whether it's in kind or cash, the support that they need in order to pull off such projects. So I would say that we should try to do more. They should try to do more to assist them in the projects and things that they're trying to do.
We may have a caller that may want to have a question for you guys, right? But just know that feel free to do so. But to date, speaking of support, how has that been to date? How would you categorize it?
Who support? Sorry.
They
Private
say
and public
private,
sector.
public and private. To date, how would you rate it?
Fear could be better.
Okay.
As in anything else, but again, the program and the department, both in St. Kitts and in Nevis, have been looking at a number of things to address a number of capacity deficits or gaps. What I want to focus on and really highlight is what Ms. Kennedy began discussing this morning. That is the youth capacity development small grants initiative,
Okay.
which was supported, developed jointly by the Youth Ambassadors Corps, which take the lead, and supported by the Departments of Youth, St. Kitts and Nevis, and supported by the Small Grants Program to help to build the capacity of youth-led youth-serving organizations across St. Kitts and Nevis, and to better position them to stand in a position of strength and to sustain their efforts, to build up their governance and accountability structures so that they could stand in a position of confidence and sustainability as an organization. And move from there and identify challenges or gaps in the community that they could organize interventions around and addressing it. Basically developing youth capacity, the ability to help themselves and to ensure the sustainability of the community. So we want to strengthen the groups, build strong youth organizations and capable young leaders in the process.
On the issue of training, we talked about the availability of training across the region for these groups. Are there any specific areas that they're focused on when it comes to training, whether it be business, management? What is there specific focused areas of training?
For the youth groups themselves?
Well, for the youth groups, yeah, but ambassadors. I mean, we might be looking at some of these ambassadors as people for the future in all areas of business, public and private, even politics, but even running CARICOM, even, things like that. What are the areas of training that they're open to?
A host. Granted, COVID has slowed down a bit of the available training, especially those in sessions, but they would have been exposed to a whole host of training, both supported by CARICOM Secretariat and their partners, and those training organized at the national level by the Departments of Youth and their partner agencies and line ministries, as well as the ambassadors themselves. Note that intensive work would have been done training young persons on the CCJ, CSME, HIV/AIDS through PAHO and other partners, the environmental awareness and conservation, project design, development, and intervention. We would have had a small grants program here implemented in St. Kitts in around 2003. Where a number of ambassadors were involved and other youth organizations, and they got the opportunity, some of them, to go on and access training regionally as well. And there's also been a focus on entrepreneurship. And that it is through the CARICOM Secretariat and the Youth Ambassadors Program, along with directors and other agencies around the region, that we were able to develop the SIBO entrepreneurship training methodology and material. And that would have seen its delivery in St. Kitts here on a number of occasions and across the region.
Okay. All right. We got one of our listeners have a question for you guys, so let's take that question. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey and Queen Enzing. God bless them, my beloved sister and brothers.
Yes.
Blessings.
Yeah, I have a comment.
Okay.
Right, a couple of comments because my beloved brother, I am 62 years old. I remember growing up in the 60s and 70s. Brothers, sisters and brothers, we had Pan-Africanist organizations. Black Power movement, lot of us take part. Lot of us are still Pan-Africanists, including myself. Nowadays, since the 80s coming up, I'm not blaming young people in most part. No, I'm blaming their parents, grandparents. Let our children down and grandchildren. Nowadays, all you have it is Eurocentric organization. You have Sniper. No Pan-Africanist came out of Sniper. You have the CARICOM Youth Ambassador thing. No Pan-Africanist. You got this thing, British Commonwealth, with its total crap. No Pan-Africanist organization, no Pan-Africanist came out of there. None whatsoever. All what you hear, and we have some very intelligent people when it comes to technology, scientists, but their philosophy, Pan-Africanist philosophy, is lacking. And they have to take some blame because I should have heard about the most honorable Marcus Masai Garvey, Dr. Walter Rodney, Tim Hecht out of Antigua Barbuda, C.L.R. James Judd Patton, and I could go on and on and on for the next 20 years. So you want to tell me our young people are brilliant? None of them get Pan-Africanist philosophy? Come on. You know, our elders have failed. Most of our elders have failed our children and grandchildren. And they just got this Eurocentric mentality, and that ain't going to get us nowhere as African people. That's my comment. Continue to listen. Pan-Africanism our place. One love, my beloved sister and brothers.
Okay. I take it though that you this organization, this grouping here, you don't start youth groups, right? You register them.
Yes, we do.
So if somebody wants to start a youth group with that philosophy,
exactly,
they can
there has
register.
to be the community. There has to be persons who have knowledge of what they want to do and what their group is about.
Right.
Please bear in mind that as we are the youth department, we basically want to cater to whether you have something that would benefit the youth and the community, the country on a whole. So I'm sorry, sir, but I think that would have to be on persons. You have to either start that movement with persons, get persons involved, you give them your philosophy of what the Pan-African was all about, and see where they go from there. If they wanna carry it on, yes.
Okay.
And they register, because
you're not starting the youth group. Let's take this other call. Good morning. Call you live.
Hello.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just want to congratulate the young lady there and also Peter Library on the good work that they are doing. I am a proud parent of a former CARICOM Youth Ambassador, Travis Bell.
Yes, Travis.
So I'm just here listening to the program and just want to congratulate you guys, and I hope one of my grandchildren will be fortunate to come to that same program as my son.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
You all keep it up and continue the good work. You achieve a lot of being one of the former CARICOM Youth Ambassadors. Now he has gone off to university. So I just want to congratulate you all again.
Thank you so much,
So
ma'am.
there's room for the next one.
Done with him as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, we got it. Okay.
I do remember that young man.
Yes.
I do. I think he actually started. He had a project where he was doing after school tutoring with students. I think he did that one. He was a very polite young man, actually. Yes, so we've had some persons pass through. The CARICOM Youth Ambassadors come through the department, come through the volunteer corps. They've gone on to do great things, and we inspire greatness. That's what we're here for.
Saliba, any comment on any of that?
I agree, and it's. I think I mentioned the last time I was there that one of my concerns was the support and participation of parents in the shaping of our young people, and I think I want to also commend those parents that go above and beyond and actually put in the extra effort to ensure that their young persons take the path that leads to success and positive.
So the parent support is still strong?
Yeah, in a lot of cases, especially those that in a lot of young persons that shine, you could see clearly that they have the backing, the encouragement of the parents, the involvement of the parents. A lot of those young persons often shine.
Yeah, well, I mean, no doubt. Well, I'm happy for that, but I'm sure you have some that are challenging, right?
Sorry?
I'm sure you have some parents that are challenge.
Yeah, we have some. We welcome working with them.
Right.
Working with their youth and finding a positive path.
Okay.
But granted, we've had some young persons that came to some challenging situations that also shine.
Right.
Yes.
And that's a testament to their resilience, testament to the community that assisted in supporting and encouraging them. Volunteers, hundreds of volunteers, teachers, youth officers, and the work of many.
Well, it is good that at least we had a parent who actually called in and said how much he appreciate the program. So you guys must be doing something right.
Must be, and we do feel good when we have those kind of calls, or we have somebody come into the department and say, thank you for what you have done or what you contributed in my child's life. And we said, you played a part also, because if we didn't have the support from the parent, then I don't think one hand can actually clap. Right. So yeah, we do appreciate and we love hearing those kind of things when it comes from.
Okay, we're going to take one more call and then we're going to go to our wrap up here. Caller, you're live. Go ahead.
Yes. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I just something I want to clarify. I just get a voice note from somebody up in the States saying that Philippine nurses and doctors and Cuban doctors here in St. Kitts died of blood clot, high blood pressure, and all these things. And the dialysis patients, them ain't getting enough care. So I want you to clarify that if it's for real or what is what.
Well, the best way to clarify that is to tell you fake news. That's the best I can tell you. There's no such news here in St. Kitts. So wherever that came from, you see.
That is what I want to find out, because I know no death occurred here in St. Kitts. No. But they're saying after they take the vaccine, that is what happening.
Okay. Well, now you know. There's no such thing.
Okay, then. Thank you very much.
Sure. You're welcome.
All right.
All right. Let's go now to anything you want to leave us with here, yourself and Mr. Liebert, before we leave.
Well, I just want to encourage the youth groups that are not registered as yet. Please, we're asking you to come to the department, do your re-registration if you have registered before and somehow you lapse in getting us the new information. For instance, if you have added persons to your groups, if you have changed leadership in your groups, we advise that you come into the youth department and do your re-registration and update your group registration with us. We also want to encourage you, when we send out the information or we send out the link for you to register for these trainings that is upcoming from the Youth Ambassador Corps, please do not hesitate. It can only benefit you in the long run. Mr. Liebert?
Mr. Liebert?
I concur. I don't think there's anything I could necessarily add, but also encourage persons in the community. If you're aware of any youth organization, any grouping of at least 5 or so young persons, coalesced around a positive idea and looking to make an impact in their society and the community, encourage them to register encourage them to take advantage of this opportunity and register for the training.
Okay.
Develop their leadership skills, their critical thinking, and a whole host of other capacities that could only benefit their community, benefit them and the country.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to thank you both for once again coming in and sharing all this important information with our listeners. And we look forward to more, because I know you have more to impart. And you guys are doing a good thing for the nation, for the region as a whole, for young people on the whole. And I want to myself commend you guys on what I've heard so far. And keep up the good work.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yes. You're welcome on Frank and Candid anytime to talk about this things you're doing. All right. All right, and that's going to do it for us today. Thank you. I'm Tony Nass, and we will be back tomorrow, if it is to be, with more conversations right here on Frank and Candid.